and the chief executive of Australia's Carlton and United Breweries is stepping down following significant public backlash against a recent promotional campaign. This is the story in news.com.au. Carlton and United Breweries' Danny Saloni steps down as chief executive officer. And this is the man we're talking about. The campaign aimed at supporting national parks was heavily criticised online, failed to resonate with outdoor enthusiasts as well. Many vocalised their concerns, alleging it could hinder access to state parks. Why was this an issue?
Well, we look at the advertising for Great Northern Beer, and it's people in the outdoors. They're canoeing, they're just enjoying the scenery and so on.
It's because they're trying to find a better beer, I assume.
Well, I'll come to that, but it's they really orient themselves towards that outdoorsy kind of market of shooting, hunting, fishing, and so on. Now the problem is
the mask crowd.
Correct. Yeah. Now the problem is national parks. There has been problems with national parks in terms of access for recreational purposes. We see in Western Victoria where for climbers access to climbing in the Grampians is being restricted. So there's a real suspicion amongst the outdoor recreation enthusiasts that the creation of national parks means restriction of access.
Well, they can fine you big time if you step off the track.
Yeah, so it's exactly. So like it's an entirely.
And if anyone's ever gone to Werribee Gorge, please tell me where the bloody track is. I can never work it out.
It's maybe you could ask the candidate. I don't know, the bloke from Nidri. But anyway, I guess the problem that has occurred at CUB or Asahi is that this great so-called marketing campaign was created. But did anyone else look at it? Now, for a brief period of time, I worked in a corporate affairs job, and one of my responsibilities was to look over the marketing. And just to make sure they weren't doing anything silly.
The kind of pub test, will this get the whole organisation in trouble?
Because marketing people are great, they're very creative, but the problem is I don't think in the whole they really reflect, really understand the feelings of people that well. And if you go to marketing school and do Marketing 101, you're supposed to learn about marketing personas. Now, quite clearly, they've just ignored the fact that the person there, the person who's interested in traditional Aussie lager might like access to the outdoors. Their campaign has probably been oriented more towards your craft beer, watermelon sour. Maybe that would be the appropriate.
I know
place.
A few of them.
Indeed.
Well, I think that the issue is, you're right about marketing people, and I know quite a lot of them, obviously through this job, and they're quite often very progressive and looking for the next big thing to jump onto. But they also love money, so they will shift onto things, whether they're left or right, depending on which way they detect the wind is blowing, and they want to be there first, right? We've seen it with surf brands that have put the trans issue front and foremost, and then ended up in big trouble because they've said this is a woman, and the surfing community has said no, it's not. So, and then the CEOs eventually had to go. So it's become a divisive thing where marketing people want to be leading the conversation, to be first in it with TV ads or promotional campaigns or social media, but it seems to be going straight to the top, and the CEO eventually has to go.
Yeah, it's quite a risk for CEOs, and maybe there's a lesson here that they should be more aware of this. And look, I would have thought that it's nearly 2 years now since the whole Dylan Mulvaney debacle hit Bud Light in the United States. I would have thought that big beer companies would have been a bit more attuned to
that is so true. And if you have a look at the commercial that Bud is putting out for the Super Bowl, it's guys wolf whistling at girls, going back to, I guess, what things used to be like before, where things have gone the past 10 years. All right, let's move on. A similar